Well, good morning and happy Sunday, everyone. Welcome to the program. Thank you for being here, for getting up in the morning, having your coffee with me. And I love my coffee black and my tea in the harbor, is what that says. So I had Wendy was on with me just having a conversation the other day. She goes, "Oh, I love your mug." I said, "You didn't see what it said." So how's everybody this morning? Everin Smith, I just saw you pop in. Welcome this morning. Susie Q, welcome. And Sandra Saunders, welcome. And who else we got in here? Carlene, good to see you. How's that move going? And Michael Brewer, good to see you, brother. I haven't talked to you for a while. We should try to catch up. There's a couple of times we tried to connect by phone, and that all fell to the wayside for some reason or the other. And Roger Rabbit, good to see you. Nice to see those pictures of you and Carly and Kinsey and the old pickup truck yesterday. So it's good to see you. I've got some messages coming in, and there we go. I'm just going to say yay as a response to that. And you know who you are. So how's it going, everybody? We don't meet as much as often because we do broadcast the weekly show, or every night show on Patreon. And so we get to meet every now and then. We had an open show on Friday night that was open to the public and talked about some interesting stuff. Professor Bauer came in and we had an hour-long Captain's Cabin, which was nice. And good to have you all there and everybody who stuck around for all of that. And just remember, this week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, is over on the Patreon page, is Intrepid Radio. Same bat time, same bat channel, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Left Coast time, and all the other time zones that fit in. So just know the show broadcasts at 9 p.m. Central, and you can find your time zone from there. Roger says, left some burnout streaks downtown. You can burn out with that, baby? It was a fun evening. Kinsey loves the bouncy old truck, as she calls it. And so, yeah, it's pretty cool. I didn't get a good look at it. I don't know cars. I'm not a car guy, but I know the things I like. I would love to have, I don't know what year it is. I want to say it's the mid 1940s. Cadillac, the long black Cadillac convertible. I was on a drive out to Colorado once, several years ago, and saw a woman driving in a car just like that, by that description. And just a glorious, passed her on the highway and waved. We all waved to her, and what an awesome car that was. And it's got that long, sleek body and that open. It doesn't look cluttered. It's just that like an opening, and you can see the leather seats and all. It was very cool. So move is going slow. We're both sick, says Carlene. Oh, damn, I'm sorry to hear that. Moves suck enough when you're not sick. So sorry to hear that. And so what's going on with everybody's life nowadays? There's plenty to talk about over on this end of things. Sunday morning. What's Sunday morning? It's the informal version of the Intrepid radio program. We can talk about anything we want to talk about. And politics, science, metaphysics, life after death, paranormal, all that stuff is out there. Oh, has a stone, says Carlene. That's gross. Now, I've never had one of those, and knock on wood, never hope to have one. So, hey, Morgan Snow. Good to see you. Welcome to the program this morning. Rainey is off at camp with the youngest girl, Scout Camp, and with Ellery. And so I'm here with Flynn and Rowan the last couple of days. And I think they're back tonight or this afternoon, probably. And so they had a nice weekend for that, weather-wise. And So that's what's going on around here. We had a little basement flooding, and that's about as informal as this talk gets here. And our wasn't like ankle deep water or anything like that, but we have some window wells that need redigging. We've done some of that. We took a post hole digger and dug out some of the window wells a little deeper, but we had those torrential downpours that didn't last long. We had grave need of rain over here because we've gone from green to crispy brown grass. And so we had a little rain that broke out in a couple of thunderstorms for, those 10-minute absolute torrential downpours. But they managed to take and fill up. You could see the water rising on the windows of the downstairs basement windows. And so it was the cleanup and the smell of wet concrete and it's an unfinished basement. Well, it's a semi-finished basement. We've got lots of stuff down here. As you can see, this studio is down here. So we've got some walls put up at the big main room and all that, but took all the area rugs, the Persian rugs and stuff like that, and half floated some of them. And so we had to clean that. I did all the rug cleaning yesterday and stuff like that, and trying to get that nasty smell out. Hey, here is Michael joining me this morning. How you doing, Dr. Feel Good?
Yeah, I had to refix that. It's been a while. I had mouth surgery, so haven't been able to talk much. Yeah. Got to bolt everything.
Surgery sucks.
In. Oh, yeah. Bolt everything back in. That Sunday, I seen y'all do the tribute to Uncle Dave. I really wanted to come on for that.
Yeah.
But I couldn't talk. But
it's all right.
But I saw the flute playing and all that, and I'm thinking, that's neat. It's a different culture.
Yeah.
I never can get in front of my camera.
It's good stuff.
Get ready to order a new one so I can adjust it better. But no, it's that was sudden. It really.
Yeah. It very meaningful. Very and I love the way in his heritage culture that he is working to keep alive and revive and all of that. That all of those things have meaning, and there was meaning placed on everything like that. And
I know Dave's brother, what was it, John? You could tell
yes.
that he was kind of awestruck by all the outpouring of love.
Yeah, they didn't realize. And so we've got two memorials coming up, one for the family on August 12th at their church down in Rochester, Minnesota. And then earlier than that, a week earlier, we have the big one up here in the Twin Cities for all the communities Dave was part of, from the Masons to the creative communities, the Sword community, the Renaissance Festival community, and so on. So it's going to be one of the big lodges up here.
Yeah,
I see Carlene is out in the wings. Hang on, Carlene. I'll get you in here in a minute.
Like I said, I was talking to Wendy about, how quick things, happens and how quick things, move and progress. And I didn't know, but he till the other morning I was sitting here, still trying to heal. And they lost two, or he lost two brothers. In a week, and I was like, well, what happened to the other one? I said, didn't hear anything about it, and it's.
As a matter of fact, it wasn't within a week; it was within an hour of each other.
Oh shit!
So, and as John told the story, that he and David, he had sworn David to a pact that don't tell Mom what bad shape I'm in, but I'll bet you I go before you do, kind of thing, and they laughed about it. And then when his older brother died, about an hour, I think, before Dave did, as I understand it, and he died, and he had a big smile on his face
because he won the
bet. And John said, I think he's probably up there going, "Ha, Dave, I beat you." I told you I would. So
Yeah, but like I said, that was sudden, in date, and Uncle Dave was such a fixture, what,
Yeah.
and like I said, it is bad, but it's
Yeah.
and that's like I think I was telling you, our little community here, we have took a lot of blows from
Yes.
sickness
Yes, we
and
have.
everything else, and I think I talked on the phone the other day, which everything was going on, trying to heal and all that going on your end and stuff, and it seems like people who do social media run in groups, um, and I don't know another group that's had the just the shitty luck that we've had.
I think we are a slice of real life,
Yeah.
and we represent. Carlene's going to come on here in a minute, and I'm sure she's going to let us know some of the stuff they're going through right now too. That's just the stuff of real life, and we all have stuff, and we can put on this beautiful polished picture out there for social media, which I try to do because I try to do a at least semi-professional radio show.
Yeah.
But underneath the surface, there's all the stuff
The
out there.
chaos.
I just saw this profound little video, and I shared it on my. Here, I'll bring you in, Carlene, but let me finish this point. This profound little video that somebody sent me, and it showed a guy riding a motorcycle. It's over on my Facebook page. And he was saying, I got to work, and my friend at work asked me, how you doing? And he said, I had an argument with my wife last night, and it didn't end well, and I didn't say anything to her this morning, and I took off for work. And he says, well, what are you going to do? He says, well, when I get home, I'm going to make sure, I say my sorries and tell her I love her and all of that. And he said, well, what made you think that that's going to work? And he said, what? Telling her I'm sorry and that I love her? And he said, no, that you know whether or not you're going to make it home. He says, what if you don't make it home tonight? And you've left that unsaid. And, that this is real life. Rainey and I, we have a certain image that probably gets put out in social media. And there's a lot of private things we don't share with people. We had a big knockdown drag out the other day, which ended pretty much with mutual fuck you. But it was kind of a, I love you, I'll see you later, but fuck you. And kind of thing going on, and tapping into lots of weird emotions, lots of different frustrations for both of us, frustrations in life, frustrations with finances, frustrations with relationship, frustrations with kids, with leaky basements, paying electric bills, all that stuff all rolls into one big thing. And we all kind of forget what's beneath the surface for everybody. Like you, Michael, I didn't even know you had surgery this week.
What? Oops, sorry.
Yeah, Michael, and you, Carlene, you talk about what's going on with you guys. You're moving. These are all fun, joyful parts of life.
Yep.
All the things we do, but then they're so laced and interlaced with all the crap of things. Michael, maybe what you had minor surgery on? I don't know if it's minor. Might you, without the surgeries you've had because of modern technology, would you be alive today, 200 years ago?
Probably
100 years ago? Passing a kidney stone for Everend? I don't ever want to have to experience that.
No.
So,
you think about years ago, you went and got a haircut and you had any bad teeth. They took the teeth out when you got at the barber, and,
right.
And
hey, take that tooth out while you're and trim the sideburns.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, when he took the one out right here, I thought he said, "Oh, it goes all the way up to your eyeball," and I'm thinking,
"Hey, look who's here!" I just noticed this.
Yeah, Rainey. Yeah.
Good morning, Rainey. She's at camp with the 8-year-old.
Yeah.
So, good morning. Hey, I love you. Just in case you don't make it home.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez, I'm Scotty.
I'm sorry, it's supposed to be the other way around.
Yeah,
in case I'm dead when you get here, just know I love you.
I like to make sure all the important policies are paid, right?
Right.
Oh, there's Ken Ballows.
Ken Ballows is here. He says, "Good morning, everyone. Good to see you, Kenny." And I mean, look at us. Look at Kenny. Look at what he's gone through the last 6 months.
Yeah.
We all have stuff that's going on.
Yeah, and like I said, yeah, and then we forget about Uncle Terry. Uncle Terry has surgery too, and
Terry, that's right. Yeah.
and he didn't say a word. He just kind of.
I haven't talked to him for so long. I forget to talk to him and say hi.
He's trying to he's trying to upgrade the technology in his home, and he calls me because he knows everything here runs on Google.
Right.
And I get to talk to him occasionally. He'll call me. It's kind of out of the blue. He's like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And I'm like,
"Nice."
I like that. But this is where you need to shop to save money. And
somebody let Terry know that we're doing Sunday morning. If you can, message him, tell him to come on in.
Yeah.
My something on my Facebook is not allowing me to tag people. I have to go onto my phone and do it. Tag people from my phone.
I know. I was talking to Wendy earlier, and she's doing somewhat better, but it really kicked her pretty hard too. And
yes,
and Henry's sick, and if I have the Queen here, and Poseidon, and
where's the rest of it?
And
sorry, guys.
and after I had my dental surgery, I had to take Poseidon in, and he got the snip.
Yeah.
So my stuff got put on hold for a minute to make sure he didn't jump and turn those stitches.
Oh wait, did you have surgery or did the dog have surgery?
Both.
Oh, both.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's. I got a message, and you can hear him in the background. And she said, "Keep him calm. Don't let him jump out."
Is he wearing the cone of shame?
No. I got sent a donut, and I ordered it from Amazon, and so he's wearing a donut around his neck, and he looks.
I've seen those. They're like they look so much more comfortable for the animals than those stupid cones that they shove their heads into.
Yeah, he's got the donut.
Yeah.
When he went in, there's a funny and when we first took him in to get him microchip, because there's a whole deal to get like a pet passport and all this. And, they got the microchip first. They got to have all their vaccinations. So Wendy was telling the lady, this is what I want for Poseidon. Boom, boom, boom. He's her dog that lives here. That's her boy here. And so I'm on the phone. I'm half asleep because it's 8:00 my time, which she's wide awake on her time. And here he is. He thinks everybody wants to pet him. He's like, "Look at me, rub my ears." And next thing I know, the lady takes off his harness, takes off his collar, and he's like, "Oh, I'm making new friends." And when I picked him up at 3:00 that day, he come out. I told him, I said, "Yeah, it's like when you get drunk in Mexico, you wake up with no kidney. You thought you was going in for one thing, and you come out missing your boys."
Yeah,
that made me cry. I'm like, you pull it up. You
what's that? What's that old Far Side cartoon? It shows the dog in the back seat of the car, and he's hanging out the window talking to the neighbor dog, and he goes, "Ha ha ha! My owner's taking me for a ride, and then he's taking me to be tutored."
He got tutored. Yeah, but he got in the truck that morning. He's like, "Oh, time to go for a ride with Dad." And,
time to go for a ride. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I picked him up, he's a different dog. Well, he is high as hell, but.
Well, I'll bet. I was a different dog after I got mine snipped.
Jeez, girl.
I remember going through that. If you've never been through that, I know you. I don't think you have, Michael. But after Rainey got pregnant with our third child, Ellery, which would have been about almost 9 years ago now, and she showed me the pregnancy test strip, and she said, "What does that look like to you?" And I said, "Uh-oh." I said, "Are you serious?" And it wasn't about the beauty of new life and the new child. It was all about having another kid. And we thought we were done with the first two. And she said, "I thought you were going to take care of this with the doctor." And I said, let's bring John Potter in. Hey, John.
Good morning.
But Rainey said, "I thought you were going to take care of this with the doctor and get that little snippy snip done." And I said, "We talked about it, We just never made an appointment. I'll call him right now. And she said, well, it's a little late, mister. And so I went and I had the snip done. And I remember it was so casual for them. There were these two older doctors. All I remember as a descriptor, they both had on nice, lost John. They both had on nice dress shirts and cufflinks, and ties. And they put on the white apron and tucked the tie in and rolled the sleeves up, put on their gloves. And they're on either side of me, just talking to each other. They're giving me the anesthetic. They're doing all of that stuff. Anesthetic, prepping me. And as Rocky Stucci and I used to joke around about, they had to flip me up and tape me to my abdomen. And he said, I said, I'm sorry, I meant my chest. So, guys, we got to joke about that. But so all I remember is they're over there, they're doing their work, and you hear a little snip, you hear a little sizzle because they're cauterizing things. You see a little puff of smoke come up. I go, hey, Doc, why is there smoke coming out of that? He goes, and they just kind of chuckle, and they're talking. They're like the one old doc saying to the other one, loved Bridget's party last night. Great cocktail party. They're talking amongst themselves. I'm sitting back like this, and I'm watching this procedure, and I'm going, hey. I said, pay attention. So,
I had a mullet.
But I got home,
like that,
and I felt pretty good. And for a dog having lost its testicles, well, I didn't lose my testicles, I just had them cut off, bypassed, so to speak. And so I'm out there, and I felt pretty good. And it was in the fall, and there were leaves on the ground. So I took a rake, and I raked up some leaves in the front yard. This is like 2 hours after this procedure. And
then you thawed out.
Yeah, then I thawed out. And after a while, I kind of went, ooh. And I think I'll go sit down. And then by the next day, that whole area of my body turned like dark purple and almost black. And that's where the jokes came out. Like to my wife, it's like, hey, I said, once you've had it with a black guy, there's no going back, I hear. I say, I am now hung like a black man. So, but it was actually just dark purple and blue and brown and all
but it looks pretty bad. My husband had his hernia repaired, and the second time they did that, his whole another region, and I'm like, oh my God.
So I don't even want to talk about that.
Have you ever had that done, Josh?
I've had it done once, and I think I'm about to have it done again.
Oh no!
So.
Oh no!
Yeah, they did.
A bag of ice to Susie Q, or a bag of peas.
Yeah, they did. They did his hernia, and it busted through. And the first time wasn't bad. The second time was, it was not fun.
Tape gate, that's it. Tape gate, that's exactly.
Tape gate. That was Rocky and I.
But Scotty, you asked. The movie's going slow. I ended up in the emergency room the 4th of July. My husband ended up in the emergency room last night.
Oh boy.
I had a massive asthma attack. Actually, could not breathe. It was turning blue. So we're back on our
trying
feet.
to lift and heft boxes and you can't breathe is a little difficult.
I hadn't even gone upstairs that day because I knew something was up, and I'd used my inhaler, and I'm like, I'll be fine. And that wasn't quite the case, but we get through it. We're back on our feet. We're hoping against hope. We've been having trouble with the realtor relaying correct information. So we finally went right to buyer and said, this is what we want. This is what needs to get done. It needs to get done now. So knocking on wood for baying everything, it goes correctly. We told them, we want to be in Virginia for my 60th birthday. You got 2 weeks to get your foo-foos in gear. And he's like, okay. Well, all I need to do is, of course, he's self-employed, so he has to do his profit and loss, which he's been working on. And hopefully all goes well. I said I've had enough of New England the last few days.
There you go.
I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen the news, if it's even hit your news, but parts of our state are getting slammed, bammed, and roads are leaving
Well, Josh
the
would
state.
know about that with his new weather network.
Yes.
I'm Josh Kemp, weatherman.
Killington up by my sister got slammed, and they're gonna get hit again today.
Yeah. I'm about to get slammed again today myself. So
Yeah.
Oh boy. Let me say good morning to Terry Pitts, coming in as Robert Pitts Incognito.
Hi,
And
Terry.
so,
Come on live. Let's
good to
see
see
ya.
you, Terry. You should come on. John, welcome back. I see you've had a little connectivity issues going on. We'll start calling you Uncle John since
There you go.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Call him Uncle John. The other Sunday, I wasn't talking well, but we was watching From the Wings, and me and Wendy, and she said, him and Uncle Dave look a lot alike, just minus the beard.
Yeah.
Now we get John just to get the little bit of beard,
and they got to grow your hair real long.
Oh yes, yeah.
John, so you can braid it.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
You might not be able to pull off the really, really long bushy beard like David sit there and do his beard, and
No, he
Well, that
might.
took him, what, 2 years to grow that?
like I said, he had more time invested in his beard than I do in a lot of projects.
I wanted to grow a Zeus beard once. I called it Zeus beard.
Yeah.
And I said to Rainey, I said, I'm going to grow a Zeus beard. She goes, you go right ahead. You have at it. And I tried. It got about this long. And I was like, I'm not doing this.
My husband wanted to grow a beard once, and I've seen a picture of him with a beard, and he ended up getting a not bad beard. But the problem is, it had a white stripe right down the middle. I told him, "You grow
Nice.
that thing again, it will be gone the next morning."
Looks
Well,
like a skunk. Yeah.
Isn't that kind of classy, though? You get that little white
Hey
streak.
guys,
And he does.
I'll be back.
Okay, see you, Josh. We'll be here.
Some guys look good with beard. I mean, Dave looked really classy with a beard. Some guys just don't look good with a beard, and my husband does not look good with a beard.
Yeah. Uncle Terry said he looked like crap this morning.
Oh,
That doesn't matter, Terry. We're not looking what you look like. I'm sure I
it's not
don't
a
look too
beauty
beautiful
contest,
today.
brother. Come on over and share your mind, or just sit there. That's fine too. That's cool. You can sit in the chat room and we'll talk. But if you feel like coming on, come on.
Yeah, but
Here's the link for everybody who wants to dial in. There's the link. And again, for those of you just joining us, this is Not Intrepid Radio. It's Sunday is our informal radio show, and we're not really radio show even this morning because we're not broadcasting on the radio station. We're just doing a live stream today.
Yeah,
You should go in and send him a picture of you with your beard.
And John, how's things going over there? I talked to you a couple of days ago.
Send it to Scotty.
Things are getting better.
Good.
Mom and Dad are getting through the days better.
Good.
So I see. It turns out that cell phones are a bit like new girlfriends. You got to be careful where your fingers go.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth?
Let me know when it's set.
Yeah, my cell phone. It's about as intuitive as toenail fungus. when I'm texting. It's just like I spend more time correcting my typos. I'll type a simple sentence to somebody, and I'm correcting 3 or 4 words in a sentence. It's like, come on, is that all the more intuitive you are? Yet I can't say damn on my phone. It's intuitive enough to write like Dan or damn like a beaver dam or Don or I type damn. I have to type the individual letters. It won't ever let me say the Effenheimer.
No. Or the
I've even put it in the lexicon of my library so I could use it. It doesn't let me. I got to go in and manually put it in if I so feel like it. And so it's intuitive enough for that, but it can't spell the word the.
Yeah.
Or and always comes out as abs and things like that. So,
but
the other day I was typing to my aunt and I said, typed did, and it changed before I sent it. It said typed it, change it to sis, and I'm like, what the frig? I said,
Yeah,
phone, you're not as smart as you think you are, because you don't know what I was saying, obviously.
right.
And so then we got a frantic call from the person I was sending the message to. Are you guys all okay? Yeah, it was stupid cell phone again.
Yeah, it's always the cell phone.
Yeah.
Oh, it was this time, because I know I typed did. We were I actually was laughing. I very well could have done it because I was laughing my hindquarters off. I don't know if you guys always see these videos of these people. They cannot get on the right side of a gas pump.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
It's like,
well, my
okay, what
sister
country is
has
my car built in?
yeah, my sister just changed her car, and the gas pump is on the opposite side.
She
And it
changed her
took her-
car?
It took her 3 tries to get on the right side of the gas pump so she could get gas.
No.
So we're
How
laughing
did it take 3
hysterically.
times to get on the right side of the gas pump?
Well,
Your
she's
car's
used
only
to,
got 2 sides.
yeah. Well, she kept going on the wrong side. I don't know what was up with it, but like she said, she's used to her truck, which was on the other side, so she's pulling like she's in her truck still.
Mm,
And it's like, no,
Yeah.
other side. Then she'd move, and it's like, okay, still wrong side. She got back in. Okay, now I'm on the right side. I said, sister, you're on the same side.
oops.
But little life hack.
I said, oh my God, I would have given anything to have a video at that point, because my sister's not one to do that kind of thing.
Little life hack. If you look on the inside of your gas cluster, it will have an arrow that points.
Oh yeah, it's
there's
got her arrow, but she changed sides of the gas pump so she'd be on the right side. Still turned out being on the wrong side.
Nice.
No, no
Nice.
offense intended to anybody. She was having a blonde moment, as we call it.
Yeah.
No offense intended.
I start calling those age moments.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, yeah, she just turned. Yeah, well, yeah, she's getting up there now.
Yeah. Roger knows. Yeah. It says nobody
Yeah, there,
remembers.
Roger knows. Roger knows cars.
I know I did it. I did it once when the day we brought our car home, I went, got gas, and I'm like, oh shit, wrong side. And I knew, I'm like, God, well, if I looked at the dash, good.
Yeah. His truck is the same year model that Sanford & Son is. Quick as I saw
See,
the
I
picture.
don't remember in Sanford and Son that they had a truck.
Oh yeah. Oh,
How
how
long
else,
since
how
I've
else do you
seen that
build the
show?
Empire of Junk without a truck? You got to haul it in on the truck.
Yeah.
John knows, don't you, John? You can't build it. What is it? Is Empire of Junk? You got to have a truck to build an Empire of Junk.
I have no idea.
Okay, Scotty, you'll be able to see how scary he is with a beard because he just sent
Oh,
you a
here we go.
picture.
Here we go.
All right. Let's see
There's
here.
Terry. How you doing, Terry Pitts?
Hey, Terry.
Uncle Terry.
Good to see you, brother. You look as handsome as ever.
Yeah. Where's the Speedo? You ready for the Speedo? It's Speedo weather in your part of the country.
There ain't gonna be no Speedo. I gotta lose probably about a few pounds. to get that.
Yeah,
I'm
I
on
know
the
how that is.
I'm on the way going there right now this past week. So
Yeah, you look like
I've got that. I've come to that point in life where I put on a Speedo and you can't see it.
No, you sound crow.
That's it.
It's like, I think I have a Speedo on under the. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Well, Terry, with any luck, we'll be down in your neck of the woods within the next couple weeks.
oh okay. Okay.
Yeah, we talked to him. He's hoping to close by the end of this month.
Oh, okay.
So how
Like
you
the first-
feeling, brother? I know you've had some stuff going on. You're fairly private about that, I know, but people know. So how
Well,
you doing?
I'll let you know. I had my prostate taken out on the 19th.
Oh,
So, and then this past week, I had to go into the hospital emergency room for kidney problems.
oh
Sorry.
no.
Bang.
So
It has to
prostate
do with-
and kidneys all at the same time.
And I was in there for like 2 days and a half. I think has to do with a lot of meds, different meds I was taking I shouldn't have been
Sure.
taking.
Yeah.
So,
So what are you
I always
saying?
have to
You're not
watch out for
running
that.
the
I had a
marathons,
long conversation with Sarah Yusuf last night because she's in family business and they do all this stuff, medical stuff, and we were talking about diabetes stuff, and you got to watch out for your kidneys and this and that, and the meds they put you on and that, and it's the balance, and it's just crazy with everything else. So it's like, at what point does you finally go, everything in my body's starting to wear out?
Must have been off camping. That's where all the campers came from.
Time to do like Picard and get a new regenerated body.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That's all I need. That's what I need. A regenerated body.
Exactly.
Hey,
Exactly.
Scotty,
It's
check
it's
your-
hell when you're getting old, you know.
What's
check
that,
your
Carlene?
check your messenger. My
Everyone
husband
me
sent you
picture?
a picture of his scary beard.
Let's see a picture of his scary beard. Well, that's not so scary. You look like a young ZZ Top.
He went with his boss to some kind of convention type thing for work, and a guy walked up to him, and they both had the same one, and they're both like, "Oh!" The guy walked up to him and said, "Hey, ZZ Top." Like, yeah,
Yeah,
well,
there
I
you
don't think
go.
so.
Hey, the only
I
one
say
that's
young.
ZZ
It's a
Top that didn't have a
miniature
beard was
ZZ
Frank
Top.
Beard.
It's only about that long.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I envision if I ever grew my beard out, I'd want to have, like I mentioned, the big Zeus beard. I mean, it's got to be. I don't want to go in.
You can come in. Do you know how to do that?
And it's got to be the big,
Huh?
like the Assyrian
Oh, yeah.
statues you see. You know, the curly, wavy beard going all the way down and squared off, and so like I've got thunderbolts or lightning bolts in my back pocket or something that go along with the beard. But I don't have the patience to get that far. So with me, it'd probably be wispy at the end, and I don't like that look.
Oh no, I was told the other day. Said, Michael, your beard looks awful white today. I was like, yeah, just tell me I'm getting old. Just tell me I'm getting old.
Yeah.
You're not old, Michael.
Like,
My God, you're
Yeah, you are.
you're the youngest of the group here.
Yeah, you're old, Michael.
Yes.
You're old. Don't
I'm
let her
not
fool
old.
you.
Hey. I'm trying to gain brownie points so he gets the puppy up in his lap.
That's right. That's right.
Lord.
Well, puppy's just had surgery. Maybe he's not feeling up to.
No,
Puppy.
he's got the other one.
Yeah, the other one. I don't know where she went. Mila,
So-
come here, Mila.
Yeah, there's and that's the kind of something that just floating through my head is this is just a perfect example for all of us sitting right here live.
There she
what life
is.
is really like. The day-to-day stuff, health issues,
Yeah.
and Terry. It's like I've said before. I talked to my old friends from college, and we used to talk about cars and chicks and adventure and all of that stuff. And now every time we talk, it's like we're comparing who's lost what organ, what joint has been replaced, and so on and so forth. Yeah, I got this. It's like the two old guys. What was that cartoon? Another comic strip thing, one of those single square ones, and two old guys sitting on the veranda of the Shady Home, retirement home or something. They're both in their rockers, and the one guy's looking at the other guy. The other guy's going like that, and he's got the flabby muscle, old flabby muscle hanging down, and the other guy, and there's a tattoo on it. You can't make out what it is. And the other guy's going, Battleship? No. American Eagle? No. Tree Stump? No. Trying to guess what the old tattoo is like. So, hey, look who we got. Speaking of old tattoos,
TV.
how you doing, Kenny? Good. How's the voice? Yeah.
I'll operate on that voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll get there.
Yeah. You're going to quit singing in the shower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I used to do that. I lived in an old Victorian house about 20 years ago. And I was in the shower one morning, and I was singing a song. Showering away, singing that Tanglefoot song. Raise your flask, aim your rifles high. I've had a dream, I've seen, and so on. And so I'm singing through that whole song. And a little later in the morning, I bump into the downstairs, upstairs neighbor, because we were on the main floor of this old Victorian house. And she came down and she said, "Nice singing this morning." And I'm like, "Oh, you could hear that?" I was going for a good 20 minutes, just belting
Oh.
it out, and taking an abnormally long shower. So, who's backing up their truck?
I don't know. I don't know if you
Yeah.
heard.
Weather alert.
I don't know if
there
you
go.
heard KB, but we're hoping to close on this place and on that one down there in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Right on.
Hopefully. I told the guy buying a house I want to be at the beach on my birthday, so I need to be in Prince George the week before.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know which titanium hip I got, but I got my right hip's titanium.
I got
So,
titanium in my back. Same thing as the SR-71.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I got 2 titanium, just 2 rods and 6 screws. So
So who's
sound like me. I had
Who's
4
taking a
screws.
nice? Oh, sorry, Terry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just telling him I got the same thing. 2 knees,
Oh boy.
2 rods, and well, I used to have 2 rods. Now it's 1 rod for 2 screws, and in my back, spinal cord stimulator
Oh,
with
man.
battery in there, and a plate and 4 screws in my neck. So,
yeah,
Well, what's that do when you play football?
well, all of this happened after work around 2000 on. So it just, I was in good shape until about 2000. Now it started going downhill.
Oh boy.
Yeah, there's wanting to do the stimulator in my back, but just something about putting a lithium-ion battery in my hip.
Yeah.
I'm like, nope. I'll say no bars. You don't put them out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Kenny,
don't do it.
if I talk over you at all, Kenny, it's because I'm sorry I'm not hearing you, and I'm not
No.
always looking when you're talking. So just wave your arms or something, so I know you're.
His old Earth's being majestic.
Yeah, a friend of mine just had one of those stimulators put in her back, and I'm like, yeah, no, I don't think I want one of them things.
It gets on your nerves after a while. Don't get
Yeah.
it.
I'm sure.
Like Mike said, these battery fires. I watched a guy. I worked at Home Depot, and he had a second battery in his pocket, and it literally caught fire. And let me tell you, what
Oh boy.
you do not put it out. He's right. I mean, you do. He luckily got it out of his leg and didn't get burnt too bad. But when those things catch fire, yeah.
That's the
Wow.
reason you can't put them in the cargo hold of an airplane. And I'm like, no. Mm-mm.
So
Well,
all of you, we're all talking about our physical stuff. Maybe I kind of pulled it out of Terry a little bit. You're not here. Nobody's here complaining, but we're talking about our stuff because that's our current news about our lives. What do we? What's going on? Oh, there's a move, but I got a kidney stone, or there's a parade, but my back hurts. That's the way we're getting these days. But what are your plans? What kind of plans do you have? I know we have these physical things that happen to us, and they're impediments. And I find that there's a lot of my stuff, my heart stuff, my diabetes stuff, that I'm the one that's in control of whether or not that works better.
Yeah.
And but I got plans. I got things I want to do. I got places to go with my wife and kids. I got things I want to see and learn. Traveling I want to get done. Films I want to make. Books I want to write. All that stuff. How about you? Everybody's represented here. There's 6 of us here. John, I want to start with you. Let's kind of go around the horn here. What's everybody got? What's your dream that you haven't done yet that you still hope to get accomplished?
Big bucket.
I want to take a canoe trip.
Yeah? Where? Anywhere in particular?
River trip down river would be easy. Upriver's a little harder.
A few more strokes.
Or maybe go up north and hike the trail.
Nice.
Not trying to set any speed records anymore.
You know what I'd like to do with canoeing? I'd love to follow the path of Lewis and Clark through the Lemhi Pass over by Yellowstone. Up in there.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be fun to take a canoe and go a couple of days and
That
go
would
through
be.
the Lemhi Pass?
Yeah. There was a 3-part show on TV one time. Some guys started out at the headwater of the Mississippi with a canoe.
It's up a little north of here.
and they went downstream. And I don't know for how many miles they got eaten alive on the marshy areas of the North Country. Then they switched to a speedboat. Then they switched to a houseboat as they went down. The river got bigger. And it was a kind of an interesting program. Gosh, that was some years ago.
I've heard of some people that have done that. They've taken a houseboat expedition down the Mississippi from northern Minnesota all the way down to Louisiana in the Delta.
Yeah. People don't realize how long the Mississippi is.
Ah.
Yeah, it's a big piece of water.
Yeah.
So
went up north one time with a friend, and we rented a canoe at Itasca, and we're paddling around the lake, and a moose came out, walked through the lily pads, and started swimming for us.
Oh boy!
A couple of college kids can learn to paddle real good.
Yeah, worse than here.
The Jaws theme. Yeah, Itasca, folks. For those of you who don't know, Itasca, Minnesota. That's Lake Itasca is the source of the Mississippi River. That's up north of here, a couple of hours. So
we later rolled up our pants legs and waded downstream from the little rock wall that delineates the beginning of the river. And it got deeper, and we got our pants wet so that when we got to the visitor center and got out and rolled our pants back down, they were dry on the bottom and wet in the middle and dry on top. And we got some looks from people like,
yeah,
how'd that happen?
It's not what you think. So, Kenny, what's your thing you want to do you haven't done yet?
Get my voice back.
Get your voice back. It's coming.
Wake up every day. And what about goals? Looking forward to meeting you guys. That's my goal.
Yeah.
We got to make that happen soon.
Yeah.
Half of you are already there.
Yeah.
In Virginia.
Get back in one morning.
1, 2, 3. Yeah. Soon be 4. Yeah. And,
that'd be cool. We should all go to. We should all meet at Colonial Williamsburg.
Oh yeah.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Oh yeah, it's nice there.
But you know what's crazy? I'm 5 hours from KBO, and I'm 5 hours from Terry, and because me and Valerie's more on the southern, little foot part of it, and
yeah, that's funny. We're about. If I hopped in a car from up here, Minnesota, Wisconsin, that would take us how long to get to you? About 19 hours.
No, that's insane.
Well, what's the name of the town?
Ken.
Nope.
Joey, I'll pick you up. You can ride my Suzuki.
No, no way. I've done that. I've done that. I will not do that again.
Sounds like there's a story there. Hey, you can ride my Suzuki, Terry. No, not doing that. Been there, done it.
We let me tell this little short story. We were doing a thing down in Williamsburg. It was like, what was it? Jim Crump. Oh, okay. But anyway, Ken said, "Oh, I'll drive." I said, "Oh, okay, I'll ride with you." I couldn't even. My knees were on the dashboard. I couldn't even have room for my legs. And the whole time it was bouncing around. The wind would blow. Every time we go by a tractor and trailer, it would blow it a little bit to the right or the left.
And a year later, you had your knees replaced.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah. People forget how short KB is. You know what I'm saying?
His chin. Yeah.
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 Oh, guess who's come on board, guys? She told me she was coming in. Here she is. Boom.
Oh,
it's Wendy.
There she is.
Good morning.
I know.
Morning.
Hey, radio wifey. I think it feels like we've been separated or something for a while.
Well, I don't say anything, but the divorce is not in the.
That's good.
It's not in the mail. It's not happening anytime soon.
That's good. That's good. Hopefully, we'll be back, folks, on Tuesday with Robertson. And Wendy's had a rough go. You're pretty.
I'm not. Actually, it's been I got water infection in May, and they took me off antibiotics too soon, and it reinfected, and it went to my kidneys, and it made me really, really sick, really, really sick, and I had to keep going to the hospital, CAT scan, blood work, and all that stuff, and it got so bad in the end that I went to see a specialist, and I'm under them now. I've got to have a small procedure done. I've got antibiotics for a month, and I've got lots of different supplements, but I still don't feel 100%, and I have good days and bad days. And he just said to me, "It'll go when it goes," and it's
Wow.
really scary. Because anything with the bladder in that department, it can make you feel crazy. But I'm glad to be here today, and
Well, I'm glad you're here today. It's good to see you.
I missed you, husband.
I've missed you as well.
We need to get the Robertson back on there.
We
back
do.
on
We
the
need to
show.
get and for those of you, I just said it, but those of you who don't know, every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern, Wendy and I do Robertson.
We do.
And we did that. We did, I think, 27 weeks before some health issues came along. And so we've been out for about 5 or 6 weeks now.
And
So,
all women, obviously, I had to, Val wasn't too well, Carly wasn't great.
right.
And then me being the head wicked, I had to pull back. And, it's still good days and bad days. If I have a good day, then I'll be here. If I have a bad day, I can't. But I was going to say, not that I'm actually asking for the plug, but, I think you should plug Wicked Women for the 23rd, Scotty. I mean, come on.
That's on the 23rd. Wicked Women. You, I think you sent me the video. I'll put that up.
If I did, the one with the story.
You're breaking up just a little bit.
Yeah.
Did I send you the one with the storybook?
No,
Once upon a time,
I don't think so.
it says once upon a time there was four beautiful.
Oh yeah,
No, I
yeah, I
didn't
got
see that.
that one. I saw that one.
Oh wait, I did see that one.
Yep.
That is the one that says, but I also have the one of what it's going to be about on the 23rd. And, Kay is away in Portugal right now. Carly's not well. Val's not well. I've not been great. So we've kind of taken a sabbatical because we had no option. And all my plans have had to go on hold. But I've really missed doing Robertson as
So have I.
have to say a lot because I love Tuesday nights. They're my favorite.
Yeah. And it's we have a good time. We've got a pretty good audience,
We do.
and we've got to let them know it's like waiting for your favorite television show in the
It
off
is.
season. Oh, she's still there. I
Yeah,
don't
we
know.
all. I think we all had we're having a bit of withdrawal. I'm like, I've been out on work injury, and I'm like, oh, now I can watch the shows, and everybody gets sick again. It's like,
I
oh,
know.
well,
Well,
that stinks, but
we have booked for the 23rd of
Yep.
July. It's booked in. You can add it, and for
Yep.
us to be back, Kay will be back from holiday, and I'm going to send Scotty. That's why I disappeared just then. I'm going to send him the links,
All
and
right.
then if he
Very
feels
good.
so inclined, he can put them up. One sec.
I'll do
I
that.
actually put it in my calendar so I don't forget it.
Aw,
Right on.
with the move getting that close, I'm like, yeah, I better put it in the calendar because I'll forget it.
Yeah.
He's talking about broadcasting from the Dark Huntress. She sends it off on Wicked Women and the Dark Huntress.
Yep.
When she goes live on Sundays, so it does come on the Dark Huntress.
Hey, why don't you all talk amongst yourselves for a minute? I'm gonna go warm up my coffee. I'm out of coffee, so I gotta get some. Oh, here you go, Wendy.
I
Oh, yeah.
saw your
Dun 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 dun. There you go.
There you go. There we
applying our
go.
British coffee today. So
Well, you
I'll
know-
be right back, folks. I'll just leave the mic open, and I'm gonna run up and refill my coffee. I'll be right back.
That's because the Jack is iconic. And, probably one of the most iconic flags in the world. So I don't mind that he's blogging it. WKB. It's been such a long time since I saw you.
Is it going good? Upstairs started coming out a little bit.
Yeah,
It's going. Everything's great.
you're looking well. And I see we have Terry already. Terry's gone.
He'll be back.
Yeah.
Meet you, John, Uncle Dave's brother, and
Oh,
always.
you.
What was it, Uncle?
Oh, Roger said he is scheduled to rebuild Carly's Wicked Women's Studio on the 22nd.
What did?
I'm feeling a little like an outsider because the only thing I take is acetaminophen.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, you're lucky, John. You're lucky.
Yeah, you're really lucky. I was down to my heart pill and Tylenol occasionally, and when I got thrown into the hospital on the 4th of July, they really slammed me some kind of good. And I hate taking pills. I'm not a good pill taker.
Yeah, we when Mom broke her leg last December, and we had her in rehab, we went down for a care meeting. David and everybody that was in town, and of course their whole staff, and every single one of us at the meeting came down with COVID.
Yeah.
And man, those pills make everything taste like metallic grapefruit.
Yeah. Yeah, they can't give them to me because I have kidney and liver issues that are not bad, but they say, yeah, you ain't taking them. They did give them to my sister the last time she got it because she had the influenza A and the COVID, so she was hospitalized. And she said that stuff was just, it was horrid. She said, yeah, all you could taste was metal. She said it was disgusting.
You know how I fight the flu? Moonshine. I fight it the old-fashioned way. I fight my communism with 100.
Like that Terry's left, but he's left the television on, so we can all hear it, but he's not even there.
Yeah, we're going to have to call Terry and say, Terry, turn it down.
TV off.
Yeah.
No, John, I've not met you before, but I loved your brother. I'd known your brother almost 20 years. And, we used to chat quite a bit, and I put on his StreamYard Captain,
Yeah.
Potter, and he never changed it. Never ever changed it. And he used to come on and do I'd say, go on, give me a bit of the part. He goes, I thought he can do it better than me, but it was he likes me a bit of Wendy or something like that. He used to say in that sort of accent. He was such a sweet man.
Yeah.
So missed by everybody.
I will add, once we get to Virginia and everybody actually congregates to get together, we'll have a spare bedroom.
All right.
No,
We'll get all 20 of us in there.
Hey, I don't give a crap. You can put air mattresses on the floor.
Yeah, everybody bring your sleeping bag.
Uncle Terry's mic.
Nice.
If we hear his TV, can you mute? Can you mute?
Oh yeah, if his TV, I thought that was coming from somewhere. Let's see. I'm gonna mute his mic for the moment
What was?
till he comes back.
I like me bits or what? What did he used to say about me, Uncle Dave?
Oh, jeez.
It's a Wendy or something.
Gotti would know because what was it he used to say, Uncle Dave?
What would Uncle Dave say?
Dave likes me a bit of Wendy. Wasn't that what he used to say, Dave?
Oh, it's something like that. It was like,
Yeah.
oh, I'll take me a bit of Wendy.
Yeah.
I likes me bit of Wendy. So
Did you ever dress up with him, Uncle John? Did you ever go to the festivals with him? And because I know he liked to do, what was it, Henry VIII, or what was it?
He was born to be Henry VIII.
yeah. John, did you ever go to the festivals with Dave? Did he ever get you costumed up?
No, never got me costumed up, but I went a couple of times.
Yeah.
I rather enjoyed the girls in chainmail bikinis that were making chainmail with the. That was
Very
pleasant.
little for the imagination there.
There was some guy had a quarterstaff for sale that pulled apart to a katana-like blade, and if it hadn't been $1,000,
There's Val. Good morning, Val.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's the beautiful thing about Fest. You can go and enjoy. You pay one ticket price. You get to see all the stage shows and the little bits on the street and all the actors that are portraying the villages, the people of the village and all of that. But then, and the arts and the crafts stuff, all the booths, fantastic stuff. But you could spend a small fortune there.
Oh,
and getting stuff. It was unbelievable. I was out there for 20 years, 15 to 20 years. I didn't buy an awful lot of stuff because I never had the money to afford a lot of that crafter stuff.
yeah.
And it's beautiful work. It's worth every penny.
But
So-
there were fascinating things there. I really enjoyed watching them make rag paper.
Yes, over at the paper mill.
Yeah, and I'm looking at that and I'm going like, I could do that if I really wanted to. I mean, it's once the idea is there, you see what you'd have to do to do it. You know, it's just having a reason.
Yeah, yeah. And there was all kinds of neat stuff. You know what I really liked? I think it was a booth. I think it was called the Bungle Jungle or something like that. And they would take and do these wild, crafty creatures, just made up creatures that was really well done, like movie prop shop stuff and cartoony, bright colors, and put mirrors in them. They had big open mouth dragons with a mirror in them. And, you know, you could get them 6 feet, you could get them small. And those things, they were expensive, but man, I think they're probably still out there. But that was they had some nice stuff. And then the jewelers out there were all pretty good. And knife and sword makers, Arms and Arbor always had a big presence out there.
I want to do the Lars Festival in Germany.
Huh? I've never been.
You ain't never heard of it? Look it up.
I never probably heard of it, didn't retain it.
It's like a month long, and you join your tribe or whatever. And you get there, and it's like wizards. It's like all the fantasy worlds combined, and it's like.
Dave told me a story about a guy who showed up fully in costume, and he was
Hi, Henry.
from a French court and had a little passport book with a woodcut etching of himself in it for a passport picture.
Oh, there's the
And-
little one.
And he was going around as the French ambassador to England.
Oh,
And
I remember this guy.
he got into something of a disagreement with David and challenged him to a duel.
Oh, yeah, dumb.
And
The
David, of
eyebrows
course,
all went up
accepted.
on that one. It was like, you sure you want to do that?
People were coming up to him all day. Very nice to meet you. Sorry about your impending death.
Mhm.
Nope.
And finally he says, "Why is everyone talking to me thus," or whatever? And
Would you speak
they said,
to
"Well,
us?"
we've seen David laugh while they pulled a sword out of his arm,"
Yes.
and
Wow.
he somehow left the festival shortly before the duel was scheduled.
Yes. And of course, as we all know, it's not real. He's not going to really kill him, but this was the part of doing theatrical sword work. It's real. When we trained for that, real sword fighting, you just have to pull certain thrusts and slashes and things like that, so you're not killing your opponent because it's done for stage and theater. But we used the old Capoferra books, which were from the 1500s, and you were the Dueling Masters books, and we just had to modify certain things so you didn't hurt each other. And so if they were going to have a duel, they were going to stage a duel. And we normally had a thing that you have to rehearse any sword fight you do out in public at the festival. You had to rehearse 150 times. So if you're doing a sword fight for this season in August, you had to have started rehearsing in January of this year.
Wow.
To make sure your choreography is all down. And then you put in the finesse after you've got the choreography down. So, but what was interesting is, and it was all bluff, and David wasn't going to hurt the guy, but it was like the guy wasn't going to show up for that duel because he had no idea what he was talking about. And it's okay if we used to call them patrons, patrons who wanted to play in costume.
Uh-huh.
Totally welcome. But this guy was a pompous little git, And
Well, he was playing a Frenchman.
yes,
Enough said. Enough said.
If you know David's attitude towards that.
toward the French, yeah. Oh, that reminds me of a story, and Dave was with me on this. We had the 42nd Royal Highlanders that we did, a little side group we started in the late 90s. And it was the late 90s, and 98 or 99. And we were the British Redcoats with the Black Watch kilts and the sword hanging up here, my claymore. There it is. I got a contort to point to it. And muskets and all the accoutrement that goes with everything. And they had us come and do at the Mall of America, at the cinema there. They had us come and do the opening for the movie The Patriot, the Mel Gibson movie. And of course, our group was French and Indian War, which was 1759. And the American Revolution really built out of the French and Indian War. And
Yes.
so Gibson's movie was about the American Revolution. So they had us all come in. We're all there in our red coats, and we're very patinaed. We don't have these pristine red coats fresh from the dry cleaner. No, they were all patinaed, and they had mud stains and powder stains on them, and we looked pretty set in. And we came with our muskets. They allowed us to do that, and bayonets, and all of our stuff. And we wandered in the lobby for the first two showings of the night. I think it was opening night. And so we wandered through the lobby with 20 of us. But then we all sat down at the midnight show. We got to sit down and watch the movie. And so we're all sitting in our red coats, and this is getting back to that idea of the French. There's the one line in the movie where Mel Gibson had, when he was in the French and Indian War, his character, they fought against the French. So there was no love for the French. And then now he's an officer in the Revolution, a colonial officer, and he's got to work with this French guy, a French officer. And apparently had a reputation he brought over, but he's trying to talk to the French guy. They're both on horseback, and the French guy just snubs him and rides off. And Gibson delivers the best line of the movie. He just turns to the side and he goes, French. And we all just burst out laughing because that's what our group did. We were portraying a group that fought the French. French. And so nobody knew what we were laughing at. A bunch of redcoats in the back. So
What was the guy that played the crazy guy on it was Braveheart or whatever he said?
Oh yeah, the Irish guy.
Yeah, the Irish guy. He said the good
It's
Lord
my
said,
island.
yeah, he said I'm good, but you're fucked.
Yeah, the Almighty says I'm gonna pull through this, but He's pretty sure you're fucked.
Yep.
So
That was a good movie.
yes.
Yeah, he's like
When I was in high school, we did an original show by the director called Sacrifice of a Goat, which was about the other two guys on the crosses.
Yeah.
And we had a scene where the Roman soldiers were fighting with the Jewish group. And when we were rehearsing out on the lawn of the school, well, first of all, the police pulled up to see why everybody was sword fighting. But after that, we're back rehearsing again, and I lost the count. Those of you who have done stage combat means I got out of sync, and I gave my opponent what David told me later was called a Prussian dueling scar.
Yes.
Right on his cheek.
Oh,
And
my.
we both stood there looking at each other. And I got through the whole show, but I have not done stage combat since.
Oh, the only scar I've got I can show you from sword fighting is let's see if I can even see it through. My daughter drew a tattoo on me. There's a white scar right in here somewhere. I can see it in the lighting. There, it's right between my fingers. I've got that scar. It's the width of a blade, and I was parrying a blade, and we were off count, and he ran his sword at a diagonal up into my arm a couple of inches, and so
what was it? The Third Reich also did that because they thought it was a badge of honor to have the scar underneath.
oh, right here, yeah, and then GI Joe came out with it, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. The whole
I was
building.
just thinking,
David had one, but it was from the back seat of the car because he'd taken his seatbelt off, and Dad had to stop short. Pow! And we had to go get him stitches.
I've got one right here. My mustache has covered it for 50 years, almost 40 years.
I have one here, and on my lip. There's.
I know you've got one right there. You got that cool little battle scar right
I was
there.
gonna say that cool little thing, yeah, on your lip. I've noticed that. It's like that's cool.
It's a lot of people say it's really cool, but it's a really horrible story that went wrong. But half of my lip. My mum had to hold it together like for about 2 hours because there was an ambulance strike the year that it happened, and you know, and and when I got there, they said, like, she's lost most of her lip under, you know, inside. So they kind of, it looks not so bad here, but inside there's like, you know, they pushed it together. But yeah, a lot of people say, "Oh, it's so cool! You've got."
It's kind of cool.
It,
It's like Humphrey Bogart had a scar right there.
Yeah.
Ken.
Yeah, I'm gonna get off in case my husband to jump on. I'm gonna sit here and watch it.
Okay.
Good to be here.
Good to see you on your veranda this morning, Kenny. You gonna do a show this week at all?
Probably do one this week, yeah.
Okay, good. I'll be there.
All right. Hey,
See you later, brother. Love you.
Yeah.
We're all going to be like, oh, I've got too much. I've got Wicked Women. I've got Robertson Robinson. I've got Scotty. I've got KB. We're all coming back. See, that's what it is.
Yeah.
So what I was going to say is, she's modest. That was during her days as a professional knife fighter. That's what it was.
That's it. Yeah.
She's
a professional cage fighter. Wendy the cage fighter.
Yeah, Wendy the cage fighter.
No.
We'll have to get some posters out on that. Oh, I see an art project coming.
Ladies, if you our hearts, they've probably got lots of scars and band-aids on it, right?
Yes.
From all the stuff over the years, because, you know, you can't see those scars. And what do they say? The scars inside are more, you know, they're deep than the ones on. But yeah, it's nice to know it looks cool. Horrible story, but nice that it looks cool.
Yeah.
Well, sorry to hear the horrible story. You don't even really, like I said, I wouldn't even guessed it was a scar. I just assumed it was just kind of like a dimple type thing.
Oh, I wish.
Here,
it's a beauty mark.
Or ill, it actually becomes more prominent. People,
yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, I have a couple of those, and you're right. The scars that are deeper are that people don't see are the worst ones.
And then
my scar.
And they have
I got bit in the face by a chihuahua. I got a big scar right there, but my mustache covers it.
Vicious dog attack, yeah, vicious. That's
I've got one. Which side is it?
Yeah.
This side. There's a scar that goes right down my crow's foot. That's from when I was like 4.
Yeah.
I got one right down the middle of my forehead. It doesn't show up very often, but me and a pellet stove came down a flight of stairs and busted my head wide open.
Nice. What's their blood?
Oh Jesus! When my husband got the call that I was going to the hospital, and he came home only to find blood all over the porch.
Nice.
And he pretty freaked out because he didn't get there, and he's like, "Well, I saw the ambulance, but they didn't have the lights on." So his first thing is, he came home. I said, we had an idiot bringing it up the stairs. I told him not to. Didn't know he was hiring a kite. He didn't act it. And he decided his mother called. He was going to answer the phone. So he let it go. And we came down a whole flight of stairs.
Yikes.
It's scary to get older because, like, if you have an accident and you fall, you know, when you're younger, you kind of think, oh, I had an accident. But obviously, like, well, I fell down the stairs some years ago, and I obviously live alone, and I've got no banisters for my stairs, you know. So how I did it, I just came out of bed and my foot just went, and I went down every single stair on my. But you think, oh, that's fine, that's funny. No, it really
No, it isn't.
the bone, and the bruising I had was quite something. But I think that the scary thing is, as you get older, like my mum, as you know, fell down the stairs this year. She fell down 3 stairs, not even 3 stairs, and she tripped with her legs like this and went down hard on her face and broke her nose and ankle, and there was a lot of blood. And you just think to yourself, as we get older, we do have to take care of ourselves more and
That's
take
right.
care of ourselves. It's true.
Yeah, my husband came down the flight of stairs. That was the last time we worked on the house. He tried to take a piece of sheetrock up. Not a full piece, something he could handle. And he wasn't totally on top of the stair, and I heard a crash and came out, found him at the bottom of the stair. So yeah, he came down every stair and actually broke his neck. He was in a collar for, I don't know,
Oh crap!
14, 16
He
weeks.
wore the collar of shame.
He wore the color of shame, and I tell you that's another reason I'm kind of glad. I would have liked to see this house finished because it was our dream, but it's as Wendy said, when you get older. I took a fall at work and I've been out for 2.5 months because my hand, like I said, I don't bounce well at almost 60 years old anymore.
Yeah, tigers don't bounce. My bane to my existence right now is my equilibrium is for shit.
Yeah.
To say it bluntly. There's times I can be standing there, and if I look up like at a cloud or something, I'm like, I'll tip over if I'm not careful. I'm like, what the hell? I said to my doc the last time I was in, Doc, WTF with my, I could just say it. I say it all the time anyway. What the fuck with my equilibrium? And, it's like, it's along all those lines as you start to get a little older. Why do I have no equilibrium? Why am I forgetting where I put my car keys? Why do I have to pee so much? Why is there this? Why is there that? Why is there that? And so, you gotta be as humorous about it as you can.
It takes longer.
Otherwise, but say, I want to do something. It's going back to the French and Indian War and Revolutionary War. I did this with my kids yesterday. I took Rowan out. I said, let's have a daddy-daughter date. I'm going to take you out for Chinese instead of Uncle Dave, because that was her thing with Uncle Dave, John. If you don't know this, every time they saw Uncle Dave on the radio, they go, when are you going to come and take us to Chinese? And so I said, I'm going to take you out for Chinese. So we went, and she had her friend over from school, and they were all singing weird, stupid. Pardon me, I don't mean to be insulting to my daughter, but the music they listen to is so out of the realm of what I would call music or good. And they're listening to it in stupid lyrics. And I said, I got one for you. And now I'm going to share this all with you. This is how I remembered in high school in the tests on the American Revolution. This is how I remembered. Can I ask all of you, who were all the generals, the British generals in the American Revolution? The British generals. I remembered them through this song. And this is a song that's at least 250 years old. And the Colonials used to sing it. And so I sang it for my daughter and her girlfriend yesterday. And they're like, Dad, can we listen to something else? But the song goes like this. It says, when tyrants shake their iron rods. Terry, you might know this song. And slavery clanks her galling chains. We fear them not. We trust in God. New England's God forever reigns. Then the second.
Sounds like
what's that, Terry?
Sounds like a Yankee song.
It does, doesn't it? Well, it's a Yankee in the sense that it was Colonials. The second one says, Howe and Burgoyne and Clinton too, with Prescott and Cornwallis joined, together plot our overthrow, with one infernal league combined. And the song goes on and on and on. But I learned that in high school it was 1776. It was 1976. It was bicentennial year. And of course, all high school concert choirs, we all learned all these patriotic songs, and that was one of them. But that was how I remember when it came to doing a test. Can you name the 5 generals, in the British Army during the American Revolution. I go, Howe and Burgoyne and Clinton. Yeah, yes, I can. So there's a little history lesson in the song. So I sang that for my kids yesterday as we're driving to Chinese, and they're like, "Dad, can we put our music back on now?"
Oh,
So
have you heard of the Battle of King Mountain?
yes, I have.
It's funny how that worked, and he said God himself would not remove him from that mountain. So a bunch of good old boys from Tennessee at Sycamore Shoals got word this man may want to fight. And it started in a pub. He's like, oh, did you hear what old boy said? And he's going to come over here, burn our fields, kill our livestock, and bring their women. And they're like, well, we just walk over here and beat his ass. And they did. And the farther they walked, the more people they got. Well, probably the more ale they consumed.
They liked England so much they went and used the name again and said new. I mean, isn't it
They used to
amazing?
use the what? The what?
They liked England so much they thought we need to use that name again, and we called
Oh
it New.
yeah, we're New England.
For such a small island, we really did rule the globe for so many years, and I think we got so fed up of being invaded and raped and pillaged by so many other things that we just thought, you know what, it's our time to do it. And so we did. We went everywhere.
Our time
Yeah.
We used to fear the English. Well, they used to, but I mean, now it's like France is right. You know, so many riots going on in France, and I read somewhere that the army's told Macron that if he doesn't sort it out, they're going to come and do it themselves because there's riots in France and people can't go out and do stuff like that. And we had our own riots over here. And what gets me these days when people riot, it's like they just do stupid things. But for a little island, we were incredibly powerful. You know, America, New Zealand, Australia, Canada, just to name the 4 countries, and then obviously over to was it Jamaica or Barbados, and then Bermuda, and just to name a few. We still like to think of you as part of the family, even though you kicked us.
Yes, I'm sure you do. I put up that post on the 4th of July. You know, the post with the little blue flag that always says "marked safe from the tornado in West Virginia" or whatever. Yeah. And I put up the one that said "marked safe from redcoats" today on the 4th of July. John Ward, my British archaeologist friend, came in and just laughed at it and said, "Oh yeah, you're laughing because he kept insisting the Bank of England still owns you all," and he's right. And so,
but you think about it. At one time, the sun never set on the British Empire, and it all has to do with the naval power that they had back in the day. The same way we have it today with all our super carriers and all this.
Yeah.
We can project force anywhere in the world from our Navy. And, and it's like, it's crazy how much a naval force can dominate world politics.
Very true. Very true.
And just think, Scotty, if we hadn't invaded you guys, you wouldn't have anything to dress up and reenact, right? Because,
That's right. That's right.
As a Scotsman, as an American,
you've given us great reenacting fodder.
We've given you a few things to play with, and
that's right.
That's worth
such entendre-laden things filling my mind, but I'm not going to let them have an invasion.
It's because but it's weird. When you guys come over here, we always know, like most of the time but then when the Canadians come over here and they go, "Oh, are you American?" And they go, No, don't say that. There is this, and it's like the north and the south of England. There is still a divide between the north and the south. When you go up north, and they know hey, you're a Londoner or you're from the south.
Sure.
There is that kind of the word hate us in North Wales. I think is it North Wales that absolutely hate the
word. The dialect's very different when you cross that Welsh border.
Michael.
Okay, and Northern Ireland obviously has all their issues, quite understandably. And when I went to Northern Ireland, I went over there in 1997, and I went to the Falls Road and I saw Bobby Sands' grave, and I saw the murals on the wall, and nothing prepares you for the emotion you feel when you see this. And obviously they call it Bandit Country, Belfast, which is where I was. And I was married to a man from Belfast, and his family were all involved in this, that and the other. And so it was quite a thing. So when I opened my mouth, I was thinking, oh, they're going to hate me. And so we went to this Republican club, and they come round and they like, who you with? Who you with? And I was like, him. And they were like, oh, that's okay, that's fine. But it was very scary. And the fact that you get in a cab, and then the cab, someone hails the cab, and someone else gets in the cab, and then someone else gets in the cab, and you're sharing your cab with like all these different people. And on one side of the road you've got red, white, and blue, and on the other side you've got green, white, and green, white, and gold. And you know not to travel to the other side, because if you do, there's going to be problems. And I've stayed in both sides. I've stayed in Protestant side and Catholic side, and I'd probably say the Catholics were more friendly, and they made me feel very, very welcome. And they do love a lot of things. They loved Princess Diana. I know I was there when Princess Diana died, and they absolutely adored her.
Yeah.
But
she was adored the world over. Everybody loved Princess Diana. If you didn't,
of connecting with so many people throughout the world. It doesn't matter whether you were a child, you had AIDS, you had cancer, wherever you were from. She had a way of making you feel just loved and wanted.
Yes.
I think that's that Miller will never ever be able to do, although I hear she's very down to earth. But I heard a rumor that Harry and Meghan are supposed to be divorcing, and they don't even have 2 children. I heard a rumor, it's all on Instagram, it's on TikTok, it was on Facebook, that they don't have 2 children. There's going to be a divorce. And I'm like, is this true? I need to know.
Hell, well, hey, I got opinions about that, but it's stuff I don't really care about, so I don't spend a lot of time dwelling on it.
Didn't have children. Those children are in the line to the Act of Succession in Britain.
Yes.
And the Act of Succession at the moment is obviously William and George, and then Charlotte and Louis, which is the immediate one. But if there was a problem with that, they really would have the Act of Succession would be quite interesting, because England has its problems with that. I mean, accepting Camilla, we took ages to accept that woman, and even now tolerate her.
Kenny said, Val said, good morning, beautiful people. What show is she watching?
But what gets me was, I never thought I'd see in England, they was holding up signs, not my fucking king. And I thought, that's a bit, because that morning I was about to have a sleep, I watched the whole thing, somebody, I made plans to be up early, because what was it? It was noon for you or something. No, it was like 9 o'clock in the morning. So it was really, really early for me. And I'm sitting here and I see these signs, these people protesting Charles, when they're like, not my king, not my queen. And, I'm not a Queen Constant, fan of Camilla. I'm not.
Neither way.
And I
actually don't know many people who are.
And I'm like, no,
because you look at her and you just go, you should never have been, he should have married her at the beginning.
Yeah,
right.
None of this would have happened. But the thing is, they went up to Scotland this week, and they were given the Scottish crown, the orb, and I think it's spectre. And literally there were people out there saying, not here to cause any issue, but he's not our king. And obviously the stone was brought out as well, because obviously that's brought down to England for the coronation. But I think that when Prince William becomes king, I think that he will unite a lot more of the country, because every time people look at him, they see his mother. And I think that King William what will he be? I think he'll be King William the 4th, 5th, something like that. It will be this country could do with some uniting, because we might be called the United Kingdom, but we're pretty not united right now. And
true.
Yeah, that's like the United States. He's talking about nobody to fight. Look, after we fought everybody apart that we had to fight back in the day, we had to start shit amongst ourselves. And I tell them, to be such a young nation and being a veteran, I have seen our country has been at war more than it has been at peace. You give somebody 5 minutes that they're going to figure out a new place to start some shit. They really are. What is it? The Mexican War? What was it that we went? Revolutionary or whatever. The French and Indian War. We even fought with the Canadians for a little bit.
How could you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Lovely people.
Oh,
They always say sorry to it, like sorry, when they
Sorry.
One of David's
all the wars is crazy.
One of David's favorite movies, if not his favorite, was The Quiet Man.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
oh yeah, quiet man.
And I always enjoyed the movie, but one of the little subplots was the guys from the Irish
IRA.
Republican Army and the
Yes.
The
You almost don't catch
Catholic
that in
member.
the movie unless you're paying attention.
Oh yeah, but what was interesting, they lived in this little small town called Innisbrook, and they still had to live together. So they were always giving each other little jibes about their positions. But when the Protestant bishop came to visit the local minister, the father had all the Catholics in town out to cheer him like good Protestants to make him feel welcome in their town.
Yes.
Yeah.
I never seen that film till Scotty told me about it, and then I
It's
watched
a
it.
wonderful movie.
She's
Oh.
beautiful. I've forgotten her name.
Maureen O'Hara.
Maureen O'Hara.
And I did like the bit, like I looked at it and was like, go home and beat your wife. Here's a stick, go and do it. But Southern Ireland is so different to Northern Ireland. Like Southern Ireland's got the singy song accent, and you're going, it's really, I've only very barely seen much of it, but I've seen quite a bit of Northern Ireland, and Northern Ireland's got the stronger brogue, and they would consider themselves very different in some ways. But I think that when you watch movies like that, you want to go and look an Irish movie called In the Name of the Father, and which Daniel Day-Lewis was in, about the bombing of the Guildford Six.
Yes.
And also there's another one about, I think it's called My Son something, with Helen Mirren in it, and her son, is a true story about one of her sons who was on the I think they called it the when they didn't wash, and it was a protest, and they didn't wear any clothes, and they used to smear the poo against the wall. I can't remember what that one was, the protest, and you actually realize how rough it was in Ireland. I remember when I first went out there, I was staying in the Protestant side, and they had to check their car every morning because they actually worked for the army, and they had to check their car underneath bombs and everything. And it was kind of like, so are you sure we're safe in your dining room with the curtain wide open? Are you sure? But then when I went to the Catholic side, obviously I was surrounded by Republicans, and it was a very different feeling. When I got married, we had a cake which had, I couldn't have the Union Jack on it, but I could have the St. George's flag, the red and white one. And then they had, you couldn't have them together. And I was thinking, my dad's an ex-copper, my stepdad's a ex-prison officer, and here are these guys coming over here, who have all been in it, and how they're going to get on. And they got on like a house on fire. It was such a great family. And I think that, Ireland is such a great country, and it's been a while since I've been there, but I've got great ex-in-laws, and I think that if you go to Ireland, Northern Ireland has the most, I think, scenic. Southern Ireland's gorgeous, but Northern Ireland, the mountains in there are gorgeous.
When I go to Ireland, I want to ride the buggy where, what was the guy had?
Micheline O'Flynn.
Yeah, he'd say, you
From
ride
The Quiet Man.
Yeah.
and you ride on this side. And if you
Yes.
give me an extra shilling, I'll let you walk together for a mile. And
And then he lets him walk, and he's riding the carriage behind them. And he says, and now there'll be no patty fingers. That's their recording.
yeah, it's just like, but like she said, he said when she goes to get on the train or whatever, the train never run on time. The guys
Yeah.
take a bet, the train was like whenever. And then he said, oh shit, he's walking her back. and like
He's
she said,
walking her back. Yeah.
yeah, and the lady comes up and she hands, oh, here's a stick to beat your wife, good sir, and she like curtsies and just kind of fades back into the background. It's like, oh, here's your stick, beat the shit out of her.
There it is. Didn't he say Nicolino Flynn? He said something about wasn't it something like and I can't remember how the line was delivered, but paraphrased, it was kind of like, and don't hit your wife unless she hits you first and she deserves it, or something like that. So I can't remember what he said.
I
exactly.
remember scary though. My ex-mother-in-law, she beat the crap out of her husband,
Yeah.
and she beat the crap out of most of the children. And I used to live next door to them because obviously I married the boy next door. And I used to, and you'd be sitting there going, "Oh my God!" And you'd hear, and then this smash and all the swearing, and you'd be like, "Oh my God!" And he was a little guy, and she was slightly bigger than him. They loved each other immensely, but they beat the crap out of each other, and no one was going to call. And we were terrible when they first came over from Ireland. You know, we were all young kids, and we were like, "Got your bombs? You're gonna play with your bombs?" and all that kind of stuff. We made them.
Wow.
We made their life hell, and then we got to know them because back in England in the 80s, you know, up to a point, they never played any of the IRA's voices on telly. They were covered up. You know, we weren't allowed. Everyone had a really bad view of you know, Ireland and what happened. And it's not till you go over there, Scotty, and you see it. And you see what the English did, and you know, I'm Irish and Scottish descent, so I can actually say that. But you actually see what happened to these people and how they, you know, if someone came to England and said, well, you know, we're overtaking you and we're not going to do this and you can't do this anymore, people fight. And the Irish are kind of scary. You know, they are scary people. They will.
There's this favorite artist that Dave and I had, Stan Rogers. He wrote this song, and I recited this before and I even played it on my show, called The House of Orange. And he said, the lyrics go like this. It's a pretty deep song. He says, I took back my hand and I showed him the door. No dollar of mine would I part with this day for fueling the engines of a bloody, cruel war in my forefathers' land far away, who fled the first famine wearing all that they owned, were called navigators, all ragged and torn, and built the Grand Trunk here and found a new home wherever their children were born. Their sons have no politics none can recall, allegiance from long generations before. This land or that name can't matter at all, or be cause enough for to war. And meanwhile my babies are safe in their home, unlike their pale cousins who shiver and cry, while kneecappers nail their poor dads to the floor and teach them to hate and to die. It's those cruel beggars who spurn the fair coin, the peace for their kids they could take at their will. Since the day old King Billy prevailed at the Boyne, they've bombed and they've... I'm sorry, it raises emotion in me. He says, but they've bombed and they've maimed and they've killed. Now they cry out for money and wail at my door. But home rule or republic, 'tis all of it shame. And a curse for us here who want nothing of war. We're kindred in nothing but name. All rights and all wrongs have long since blown away. For causes are ashes where children lie slain. For yet the damned UDL and the cruel IRA will tomorrow go murdering again. But no penny of mine will I add to the fray. Remember the Boyne, they'll cry out in vain. For I've given my heart to the place I was born, and forgiven the whole House of Orange, King Billy and the whole House of Orange. So, great lyrics from Stan Rogers, who was Canadian, Canadian folk singer.
Gotta love them Canadians.
So, yeah. And
it's easy to be so nice when you have the big bully on the block right next door, so you can be all nice when you
No.
Very true.
The Canadians, you know, we're a Commonwealth, so because we've got their back, right?
Oh,
And that's right.
Yeah. Do you know why nobody won't invade Canada?
I think you might find our king is actually on
Mexico is.
Mexico.
Well, Canada's our ally, so
Yeah. We look after the Canadian smucks.
Yeah.
we
Hey,
used to joke
Scotty.
about going to war with Canada all the time. Oh, we're going to war with Canada.
Hey, Scotty,
Was that the name
Yes,
of
sir,
the
Terry.
you can make
Was
a
that
living off of being a
movie, Canadian
storyteller.
Bacon?
Oh, well, 1 second. Hang on, John. What was that, Terry?
I said you can make a living off of being a storyteller, and doing
I
things
wish.
like that.
I think
I wish I
Scotty
could make a
do
living off of
audio.
that.
I've always
He's
said
got the voice and
he's
everything.
got a voice
No.
for audio books. He really
Oh,
has.
Well,
And I-
thank you.
You do. You listen to it and it's like honey.
And
going-
I was just going to channel Dave. And Les, why don't you come over here and sit in me lap and I'll tell you a story.
Oh, Uncle Dave.
Yes. And what were you saying, John?
There was an extrapolated version of Wag the Dog. I think it was called Canadian Bacon, and all the
Oh.
people were like from Saturday Night Live, but they were all Canadian actors.
I'm not
That-
sure if I saw that one.
The president's points were down, so they trumped up a war with Canada because nobody would get hurt. You know.
Yeah, nobody would get hurt.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny. Hey, good morning, Elderberry.
But John Candy's one of my favorite actors, and
Yeah.
such
Yeah,
a great
he was gone way too soon too.
taken too soon. And
He's been
obviously
dead like
Dan
20
Aykroyd-
years, hasn't he? Something like 15 or 20 years.
Yeah, he was 40. He died exactly the
Yeah.
same way as his father, in bed with a heart attack. Dan Aykroyd is Canadian as
Yes.
well, and a spiritualist as well, which is kind of interesting.
Isn't Mike Myers Canadian?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Although
Because he did
he's
some
British.
weird series I saw where he's playing this Canadian, who's an old newscaster, doing travel scene in Canada, and he talked like this, and it's all these adventures he got into, even though he's washed out aging news reporter of some kind. So
I told Wendy last night. I said my favorite Canadian had to be Alex Trebek from Jeopardy.
oh yeah,
Yeah, he was just so nice with that big
Alex Trebek.
mustache. It's like,
yeah, famous Canadians.
Yeah.
few of them. Come on.
They're out there. You got to think of it.
I just,
We just lump them in with Americans.
oh, Deadpool. Yeah, Deadpool. Yeah, Deadpool. What's Ryan Reynolds?
hmm
Ryan Reynolds.
And then you've got
Oh, he's
Celine
Canadian?
Dion, obviously, as well, the singer.
Who?
Celine Dion.
Never heard of her.
Oh,
Oh, Celine Dion.
Is
Yeah,
it
yeah.
Katie Lang?
Her.
Katie Lang.
oh,
is-
you got
What's
you
that,
got the
Terry?
lady from the View. You got the lady from the View from Canada.
yeah.
Oh, you don't watch the View, do
We
you?
can have her back.
I don't ever watch it.
Perry.
She gets on my nerves.
Have an intervention with you.
I said to Mike, "Get a tattoo done with a maple leaf, and it's going to have half the Canadian flag, half the United Kingdom flag. It'll look good.
Well, we'll put it on the background of the American flag.
Randall Flagg
Yeah.
says Rush,
Mm.
not Rush Limbaugh. I think he's talking about the band Rush.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wayne Gretzky. Yeah,
Yeah.
Wayne
Oh
Gretzky.
yeah.
man, that's pretty cool. But that's what and we talk a lot amongst us, and I tell them, but my favorite British actor is Hugh Lauren. Played, everybody knew him as House, and I told him, I said, but
Oh,
he's got a whole career before he ever came
Yeah.
to the States.
He was
Yeah.
brilliant, Blackadder. He was.
There's a lot of people who watch House didn't know he was British.
No,
And,
and he had a whole career before that happened.
Just
Yeah.
goes to know how easily we can, blend in with you guys.
Assimilate. Yes.
Really don't know that when you leave,
Assimilate or die.
we
There
come.
was what
So that
series
voice
did I
comes out.
watch?
Yeah.
It seemed like half
Well,
of the
yeah.
people in it were British, and you didn't even know it. Oh, remember the zombie, The Walking Dead.
Walking Dead. Yeah.
That whole cast was British, and you never knew it. You had Rick, the Southern sheriff from, where was he from? Virginia or something?
He's in love. Actually, he's the one that does all the placards.
Yes.
No.
He's British. Rick, the governor, was British. The guy who played the governor. You had someone else. A couple of other people in that series were British. and you'd hear them talk, and you in an interview, and you go, that just blew my mind. They're British. I didn't know that.
Beth,
And,
Beth Dutton from Yellowstone.
who?
Beth Dutton from Yellowstone. She played in Britannia.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Well, she was in Britannia. The same guy that played the governor was the Roman head of the Roman whatever there.
I just want to say you're so welcome. We like to send our
Yes.
out there, and you can enjoy us. You
Yes.
can enjoy us. You can look at us, and then you can put us back. But we're there. You can't get rid of us now. You might have won the war. No, you might have won the battle, but you didn't win the war.
Yeah, that's it. What is it, Scotty?
Keep going, Wendy.
I take my coffee black and my tea and my tea.
I take my coffee
Yeah.
black and my tea in the harbor.
Someone's waving the flag for the United Kingdom here and Canada, because otherwise you guys are just like, great,
Here.
great big America, and we're just little.
There. All I gotta say is, oh Canada. So,
Yeah. And then you've got God Save the King now, which everyone still forgets and goes to say Queen after so many years of saying
we
it.
used to sing that with the regiment. We'd do the 1759 version. And we'd go marching through these events, 20 of us guys, all in red coats with our muskets at our shoulder, marching, singing, God save our righteous King, God save our holy King, God save the King, send him victorious, or all blah, 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 blah. I don't remember the word.
Long to reign over us.
Long to reign over us, God save the King. Yeah, we'd sing that as we'd march.
Wow.
And, so
I
that
don't
was
think the reason that people liked the Queen so much was, she's a World War II veteran. She's a Jeep girl. She still drove around her. And then in the little dogs, the little Yorkies she had.
Corgis.
Corgis, yeah.
Who are you talking about?
The Queen.
Corgi.
Oh yeah.
What?
Yeah. Did you know the Queen was a war vet?
Oh, the Queen. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. She was a Jeep mechanic, ambulance driver. So she had to learn how to work on the Jeep before she could be qualified to be a Jeep mechanic. And I tell them, and there was a funny story, and I think I've told Wendy about this. She went out with one of her ladies in waiting to a shop, and she was looking at a dress, and the woman's like, "Excuse me, ma'am, but you look a whole lot like the Queen." She said, "Oh, I've heard that."
I've heard that. Yes.
And it's like, I'm like, she goes out, she dresses down plain. She don't have on the royal jewels. She ain't wearing the big freaking crown, and she just goes out to what she wants to go shopping to buy a dress. And the lady's like, "Oh, but you look like the Queen Mom," and she's like, "Oh, I've heard that." And then the whole thing she did was, what was it, Daniel Craig with James Bond or whatever it was.
Really, really good.
And she's like, "I'm the Queen. I think I should have a line." And they're like, "Well, what do you do when the Queen asks for a line? You give her a fucking line.
You give her a line.
You give her a line."
Like, they have power now.
Was she actually? Sorry, I didn't. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. Wendy, I'm still exclaiming. I don't remember the Queen being in. Was she actually in a Bond movie with?
No, she
with
was.
a line?
It was the 2012 Olympics.
Yeah.
And it was they did lots of things to celebrate different parts of Britain, and they used this one where James Bond was coming to escort her, and they jumped from a helicopter into I think it was the Millennium. It was either Wembley or Millennium
Falcon.
And when it popped up, it had the big Union Jack on the top.
Yeah.
Big Union Jack parachutes, and they came in. And
I don't remember that.
But they portrayed the Queen as jumping out of a.
Oh, who did we lose? Terry.
Which
Terry, we lost you, unless you had to go.
But maybe Wendy, and I've never asked her this, but why do they always call the Queen Mom? It's like
The Queen Mom.
Yeah,
That was her mom.
The more of the British stuff, like Pennyworth, it's all right. Oh, Mom, and some of the other things I'm watching now.
Well, they used to be called. I think it's the Dowager Queen. Like if you were the late wife of the king, I think it was Dowager Queen. But then obviously,
mom was easier to say than dowager.
She was well known, the Queen Mother. She was in a lot of debt when she died. A lot of debt, which the Queen had to pay off. She was known to like her tipples with the gin and all that kind of stuff. She was known mischief maker.
What?
She was a known mischief maker and gossiper, and because it was her that got along with Diana's grandmother. It was those that brought two of them together. But yeah, she had a lot of debt, and the Queen had to pay it off when she died. So she might not have been Queen anymore, but my God, she lived the life of it.
Yeah,
Oh,
of a queen. So, yeah.
Yeah. And
Excuse me, folks,
Yes, yes.
but
John?
I hear parents, so I will bow out today.
Oh, it's so good to have you sitting in today, Uncle
So
John.
nice to meet you, John.
Uncle John now. We have to change his name, Benner, Scotty. Can you change it to Uncle John?
Yeah, here, wait. Before you go, John, I got to do this.
Uncle John.
Oh, he's gone. No. Oh, sorry, I took you out by accident.
All right, make it
Let's
official.
see. I
Uncle-
can do
Start
this
working on the
right
beard.
here, and we'll edit that, and we'll call you. Here we go. Hang on to your butts. Boom, Uncle John.
Oh,
So now every
I'm
time you
honored.
come into this show, you're Uncle John.
Yeah, like
Uncle
I said,
John.
I am honored.
Start working on the beard.
I'm glad you're here.
You got to work on the beard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Grow
gotta
your
get-
beard and your hair
work on
out.
the beard. Yeah. gotta work on
No.
the beard.
No, he's got to be his own man. His own man.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well,
He's Uncle John.
Oh, but he does have
But
a
you know,
really big mustache. That
Nice.
mustache-
That when you look at John, you see Dave, and it's
You
just
do.
nice it's nice to meet John, but it's also nice to have that similarity as well,
Yeah.
because like,
Yes.
oh,
Yeah.
It's like a warm T-shirt that you're used to putting on. It's
Terry
Well,
says, sorry, I hit the wrong button. It's all right,
thank
Terry.
you for welcoming me.
Well, thank you for being here.
Goodbye now.
I love you, John. See you later.
Love you too. I love you all.
Bye.
bye.
Now we've got a couple of memorials that are coming up, and for Uncle Dave, we've got two. Mostly because of the family. They live about an hour and 45 minutes out of the Twin Cities, and so, and as I've mentioned before, they're older, a little frail. We didn't want to have to haul them up to the city for a big memorial service. So the Masons are doing a really big one on August 5th. And I've got a meeting to go to tomorrow that's part of planning that. And it's the Masons and the festival people and the arts community and the craft community and friends and family. And then on the 12th, the week later, is going to be the official funeral memorial for Dave and his brother Stephen down in Rochester, Minnesota at the church. And so we've got two of those coming up. And for all of those of you who can make it, I know there's some of our listeners have said that they'd like to come up for one of the memorials.
I would so love to do that. I would love to be there,
That'd be
but
nice. That'd be nice.
his life, right?
Yeah, right. Ain't that the truth?
Mm.
So we'll keep everybody apprised when that's going to happen.
Well, you know, I
Oh, I have
did.
to get
You know,
close.
I'm pulling the radio wife. You know,
Yes,
special. I did send you the video for you to play.
I
So
saw it. I saw it. I didn't
Not that I have
play
to
it
come
yet.
and thank you or anything, but it's like, you know, just, you know,
I saw that you sent it. Don't nag me, wife.
I will nag you and put you in the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
The thing is,
Oh,
Scotty, you'd
wow.
actually like that.
my eyebrow goes up. Oh,
Just-
what's in the corner?
It's never good. Trust me, it's never good. It's never good.
Never good.
Oh my God, you're so
Grumpy
cheeky.
Stack says August 4th is his 44th birthday.
Damn, you're
Wow.
old.
That's the age I was when I started seeing
He's a
my
Leo.
wife.
You're a Leo, Grumpy.
Yes, he is. So that's what I can tell Rainey now. I can tell Rainey, you know what? You're almost as old as I was when I first met you. So, or when
Yeah.
we first started hanging out. So,
You look amazing, Scotty. My mum was saying to me today, she goes, "What's the difference between age difference between Scotty and Rainey?" And I said, "Oh, I think it's a little bit." And she went, "He looks amazing. He
it's
really
20
does."
years. It's
There you
20
go.
years.
You don't look a day over 80.
Why, thank you.
You're looking great.
You look amazing.
Well, thank you. All I need is a little bit of my hair back and a little darker color and the fat roll around the middle to be gone, you know, stuff like that.
You could always do an Elton John.
Elton John?
Yeah, you could
Oh,
always have
Elton John.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. No
Um,
thanks.
but you know,
So I like Elton John's music, but no thanks.
Glastonbury. I watched this thing on YouTube from Glastonbury, and
Yeah.
they say people when they start getting older and things starting to go, that the last things that goes like your talk skills or whatever. But when he
Yeah.
sits down in front of the piano, he looks as good as he
Oh, yeah.
did ever
Yeah,
did.
he does.
But when he got up to walk off, you could see the
Mhm.
frail old man. But when he sat down in front of that piano, it was like he was taken back. It was like the muscle memory came back for the piano. Yeah, Lord.
Val, you're such a youngster.
Yeah, Val. Like, what are you worried about?
Yeah.
I actually
So-
didn't. It's a couple of years. Okay, a couple of years between us. Right.
Yeah, because I just turned 51, and
I'll be 63 this November. So
yeah,
it's catching up.
Only 60.
Only 63.
I hear
Yeah.
that. Oh, but
Well, I'm
you're,
living to 104, so I still got 41 years left.
Mark swears he's going to live to his hundreds because he swears by the fasting and being grounded and walking on the grass and all that kind of stuff. He says, Wendy, I'm going to live to over 100. So, hey, anything's possible.
I thought I was going to go this last week. They changed up all my meds on stuff.
Know that feeling.
And it was like, okay, folks, if this is too intimate and personal or TMI for you, too bad. It's my show. And we've only got a few minutes left before we get out of here. But I was taking my meds. They changed up all my diabetic meds. And I don't know, for those of you who know anything about diabetes and where your blood sugar levels should be at, they're supposed to be between 70 and 110 as a norm. And I was hitting by my blood meter into the 400s. And I wasn't feeling bad, but I was talking to Sarah Youssef, who deals with this stuff every day in her profession. And she said, you're gonna go comatose here pretty soon if you don't take care of that and find out what's going on. And this has been since I was in the hospital for the back strain that they thought was heart. And they had me in for 3 days a month ago and did all the tests. They put me on new diabetic stuff. And then I met the diabetic specialist. They took me off this one and put me on that one. And they kept changing everything all around. And the last 2 weeks, and then with the, emotional trauma, you could call it, on top of that, with Uncle Dave passing,
Yeah.
all of that in that mix, I was stumbling around feeling like, what is going on? And here's the TMI part. It's like you had to pee every 20 minutes. And I'm like, what is going on? And I know when your blood sugar goes really high, your body reacts that way. It makes you want to urine more.
yeah, the
And,
flush
to wash your system out. But on top of that, one of the meds they gave me said, could increase, your pee and so blah 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 and all that. It's that weird stuff. And I said, I was talking to Sarah and I was talking to some other people, my doc, and I said, you know what? I got to come in. We got to do something about this. This is not working. I cannot function being stumbly and tired all the time. The meds were just wearing me out. And the nurse at the hospital said, well, that might do that. But remember, these are also the meds that are saving your life. And I'm like, yeah, but if I got to stumble around in a haze, what's my quality of life? There's got to be a different way to do this.
I've always said that there's a difference between quality and quantity of life.
I got to talk to Grumpy Stack about the diet stuff that he does. It's stuff that I can look into that's going to, I want to get totally off the meds for diabetes. That'd be awfully nice, wouldn't it?
It's changing your diet as well, isn't it? Like
Diet and exercise. And so all of that. So,
Yep.
And Wendy, you look rather stunning right now. I'm just looking at you. I'm like, wow.
I don't know why, because literally I don't feel it, but thank you for the compliment. I'll take it. When I'm back to 100%, you'll know, but it's just nice to have a good day, because talking about peeing, that's all I do is spend time drinking water, taking tablets which flush everything out, and then more drugs on top, and then more drugs, and it's just like, wow, it's great when you get in your 50s, menopause, all
Yep.
this other kind of stuff. It's
Maybe
like,
some
oh,
things
I want to go
y'all
back.
heard.
And Val say, Ken, I forgot. How old were you in 1973?
Oh,
I was 22.
Yeah,
I was 3.
I was 1.
No, 32. No, wait, 73?
Well, 6 months.
Oh, damn. I was
Yeah,
12.
yeah,
I
6
was 12.
months.
I was
I was
12.
born in June of '72, so yeah, I was 6 months at
3.
Yeah,
yeah.
12.
Oh, that's like Doctor Who. I told Wendy, I said, are y'all going to adopt me into the Doctor Who family to be a Whovian? Because I started watching the series, and she's
A
like,
Whovian.
yeah, she's like, I started watching in 1973, and I'm thinking,
I was like,
I'm like 1.
Yeah.
you cannot be a Whovian after you just watched a few series. It's like, yeah, when you've watched William Hartnell to Paul McCann, then you can
There it
turn
is.
around and say you are a Whovian.
No, I'm thinking, I didn't know it was such an exclusive club to get in.
We are very selective, and we're really selective.
And I told him, I said, I'd even build the blue police box to put in the yard if they
The
would just,
TARDIS.
yeah, if they just bring me in. You know what I'm saying? But I like it. It's like, oh, what are you going to do in your shack? And you go inside of, it's bigger inside than it looks. I'm thinking, oh, there's a lot of
Scotty's got Star Trek, and then someone said
Yep.
to me, "What's your favourite program?" And I'd say, "Well, obviously, I grew up with Doctor Who. I'm a Whovian, and I watched
Sure.
it from John Pertwee's era."
He was so British.
But Supernatural obviously took over that, because
Yes.
I haven't watched TV since Supernatural finished, really, and that went on for 15 years. And I did Stargate SG-1 as well. I have to be honest, I did all those years as well. But Doctor Who, I think, is like, if you go back to the black and white series, in the 60s, it was like, breaking over here, and at the same time, the sets were wobbly, but 14 people have now played the part. That's pretty good going.
Yeah.
Now, Scotty, the question I ask you, I got a friend, I go out anywhere, little cigarette store, and he said that he could not figure out what the comparison was, because when there's a new doctor coming out for Doctor Who, the UK goes nuts. Who's going to be the new doctor? And he said, "What could you compare that to here in the States, Michael?" I said, "Oh no, who's the new captain of the Enterprise?" I said, we all went ape shit when 7 and 9 got to become captain of the Enterprise.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Titan.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't know. I said, Star Wars don't have that. Oh, who's going to be the next Jedi? Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda.
Oh.
But it's not just the Doctor, it's the companion, because once you belong to the Doctor Who family, I mean, look at the people that have been Doctor Who. Christopher Eccleston, well-known actor, David Tennant.
I liked him a lot.
A very known, well actor. Matt Smith is doing really well on stage. He's also been in a Terminator film. Peter Capaldi was famous before he even went into Doctor Who, and Jodie Whittaker, she was famous. She did what's it called over here? Her and David Tennant did it.
You do remember Peter Capaldi's? I think it was his first movie.
He got an Oscar, didn't he?
Well, it was in 1983. Maybe it wasn't his first, but he was very young.
Yeah,
he was like 20 or something like that, or very early 20s. Was one of my favorite movies, Local Hero. That movie filmed in Scotland, with Peter Riegert, and Burt Lancaster was in it.
Yeah,
and he played this kind of quirky Scottish assistant to Peter Riegert in the movie.
But both him and David Tennant wrote to the BBC asking to be Doctor Who years before they were ever, and they actually brought out on Graham Norton. They actually brought the letter that Peter Capaldi had sent in, and he was like, "No, please don't read it. Please don't read it." But they did, and it just goes to show that I think once you've played that part, like James Bond, Daniel Craig has done. And Pierce Brosnan have done so well for themselves, and Sean Connery could just go and do anything he wanted. He was amazing. And I think Roger Moore, sadly, he
wasn't my favorite Bond. He was what I grew up with in the 70s.
He portrayed himself in Cannonball Run as.
It became very caricature.
Yeah.
But from what I've heard of a rumor from a friend of a friend, they don't intend to have another woman doctor for a very long time. They don't think
Probably
it
not.
went down well. And the
It
other
didn't
thing
go
is,
down well.
James Bond will always be a man. It will never be a
Yes.
woman.
And I'm sorry, that's not sexist. That's just characters. That's
Really?
creativity.
Yeah.
You
But
can't.
they killed him off, and then they said, "Oh, she's the new 007." And I thought, I'm done with Bond.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Now 007 was a designation, so
Yeah.
I could understand that. But you can't pretend the male character didn't exist to have a female character for the sake of wokeness. That's when movies start getting dumb.
They just did
And-
Anne Boleyn over here, and she was black. She was a black actress, and they made Anne Boleyn black, and I was like,
Yeah,
All right, be right back.
What?
that would be like doing a movie about Harriet Tubman and the Underground Railroad and casting, a white woman to play her. It just
yeah, but
doesn't
you see,
work.
that would go down well because
Now
everyone
that's
was
historical, so it's a little
racist.
different.
But it's like,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's okay for, I don't care what color you are, but it's like, it's okay for a black woman to play a white British queen. But if a white woman was to play a very famous black lady, I don't think it would go down that well.
Would not go down well. So, by the way, something we won't talk about this morning because we're out of time, but I want to make mention of is Indiana Jones. The new Indiana Jones movie. I've read all kinds of stuff where it's a terrible movie. And I went and watched it, and it was absolutely incredible. The emotional scenes were emotional. The action was just as good as ever. And like Harrison Ford has said, he said, what good is doing Indiana Jones at 80 years old when we don't portray him as being an old man?
Yeah.
And you see an Indiana Jones, I'll give this much away. You see an Indiana Jones has become a bit older and a bit disillusioned, a bit washed out emotionally, and for certain reasons that are mentioned in the film. And he's done. He's going to retire at the beginning of the movie. And then he's led into this adventure. And it's really, and people go, well, that's so, that could never happen. The Dial of Destiny and time travel or anything like that. And the thing is, it's fiction. It's science fiction, folks, and adventure. And there are some scenes in that movie. Right toward the end of the movie, there was a scene where you totally didn't expect it. And I just went, I'm sitting there next to Rainey, and I've got Flynn and the girls. The girls don't know that much about Indiana Jones, but we all went to the movie together. There's a scene at the end where you're surprised and you just go, oh. I went, oh. And it brought a tear to my eye. And everybody's looking at me like, my little girls are like, are you crying, Dad? I'm like, shut up and watch the movie.
No.
And so there's some really good stuff in it. And
he's sexy as hell, though. Harrison Ford, even at the age he is, he's sexy as hell. I wouldn't turn
Joe
down.
Biden needs to take some lessons from Harrison Ford.
He's hot as anything. He's gorgeous, and he's that voice. I don't care what it is. When Carrie Fisher said to him, "I love you," and he went, "I know." It was just so cool.
I know. Perfect.
But didn't they
even Harrison Ford, I've seen him do some little clips of interviews where the man's in tears talking about the emotion he put into the film and where he thinks this movie is. And of course, you're always, pretty pro about the movies you do, but I think he really loved this one because for him, and I've seen him, he said this is the last Indiana Jones film, at least for him. If they don't revive it, he might have a contractual thing too, because he wants the Indy character to be done when he's done.
I think it should end with him.
It should. He is Indiana Jones.
Yeah, that's it.
It's like Captain Kirk. I've seen now 3 different actors playing Captain Kirk, and there's one that's really good.
Yeah.
There's one that's pretty good, and there's another one that he doesn't sell Kirk to me at all. And that's in the new Strange New Worlds, Captain Pike series.
What was the young guy's name that did it when it first came on?
Chris Pine or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Chris Pine. He does a great Captain Kirk.
That's what I was going to say.
Hope he's gonna come back.
Be we
They
even
are working on the 4th.
then it
film.
would be him because when that series first opened, she walks in and the girl's laying on the bed and she's like, "Oh, I hear a mouth breather," and Kirk comes crawling out and under the bed.
Hey, yeah,
I said, "That's Captain Kirk to me. Captain Kirk."
that is Kirk. That's Kirk
know,
was a
what-
hoe.
Yeah. Which planet you dropped him on? Kirk
Yeah.
was in some female companionship,
Yeah,
and I said, okay. But the one thing about Spock is I'm glad they made Spock more manly for the series because Spock was like, "Oh, good
Well,
lord."
Zach, the guy that played in the movies, he was so good. I mean, he was.
Oh,
really
the
good.
Zach Quinto.
Yeah, he was really.
Leonard Nimoy kind of handpicked him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They look alike. And he played the part perfectly. There's still nobody that can quite capture Leonard Nimoy. They can play Spock, but they can't capture Leonard Nimoy. Nimoy was harder and a little. The new Spock for the Strange New World series, he does a great job, but he looks too boyish for me, for Spock.
Are they bringing it back with Chris and Zach though?
Yeah.
I just saw something on that. They were talking about it for a couple of years. There is a Star Trek 4 in the works. Then the actors all bailed on it, and then they're back in, and then there's no idea.
That's about like
And I thought it
that's
was
about
really
Stargate.
interesting.
Part of them's in, part of them's out.
Yeah.
Those
Those two, and plus the Australian actor for Bones. Why am I slipping on his name? Plays Dr. McCoy in those movies.
He does a very good McCoy.
What the heck? Why can't I think of his name? Right on the tip of my tongue. And I've seen him in a lot of stuff, and he's very good.
And
He's an Australian actor.
Simon Pegg does Scotty, doesn't he?
Simon Pegg does Scotty.
Yeah.
Did a pretty good job.
It never occurred. I'm a doctor, not a miracle worker.
Doctor, not a miracle worker.
That's it.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm looking forward to it. I hope they do another one. I don't like what they did with Star Trek in those movies. I don't like what they call the Kelvin timeline. I don't like how they changed the timeline. It was a cheap theatrical writer's gimmick to be able to do whatever they wanted to do. I didn't like that about it. But I love the movies, and I love the way they've built the characters.
It's lazy writing. It's really.
It is.
I just think you can't. It's like Gone with the Wind. Gone with the Wind should never, ever be done again. In Back
Right.
to the Future, I know there's a massive campaign against ever making Back to the Future again, but I noticed that Disney is re-releasing in cinemas, and maybe they have a reason why they're doing this. Pirates of the Caribbean, the original.
I think
one.
Johnny Depp is probably back in.
But they haven't got Captain Jack Sparrow on the poster. They have Barbosa, they have Elizabeth, and they have the blonde-haired guy with the funny eye. I can't remember his name, but they're on it. And they said Johnny Depp isn't on it because he now lives in the UK. Johnny Depp, he's down in Somerset.
Pirates of the Caribbean wouldn't work without him.
You cannot
You can do it. You can do another pirate movie, but take it out of that.
They have got to pay him a
That
shitload of
storyline.
money,
What is
and they
it?
have to give him a public apology, which they have yet to do.
He's been making appearances at Disney World, though, in
Apparently,
Disneyland,
yeah.
as Johnny or as Captain Sparrow.
But I like what he
So-
said. He said, "I'm Captain Jack Sparrow, but you have heard of me, right?"
He's such a great actor, such an iconic role. It's such an iconic role.
What was it? He played in
Yes.
Gilbert. What was it? Gilbert, whatever. The world of Gilbert Grape or whatever. And that's when I first remember seeing Johnny Depp. That's a
And
young.
because Beetlejuice is coming back, Beetlejuice 2 with Michael Keaton.
Yeah, that'll be fun. That's Michael Keaton.
Yeah,
I-
the only reason I want to see the new Flash is for the original Batman.
He's my Batman.
Yeah.
And Matthew Sainsbury. I never saw that King David movie with Leonard Nimoy as Samuel. I saw there's another very good movie that could have been better storyline, dealing with it better, but they did a fairly good job. A great job with the visuals and the production was King David with Richard Gere playing King David, and British actor Edward Woodward playing King Saul.
Very good actor.
That was made back in the mid 1980s.
He did The Equalizer in the 80s.
Yes,
But
yes.
it was so good. And then They redid it with, I think his name, the black actor.
Washington, Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they did the program with the black woman, and I just thought none of them have the grittiness and the hardness that
Yeah.
Edward Wood had.
That's true. And by the way, yeah, Matthew, and anyone, if you want to watch a good movie, even though it gets a little muddled in the storytelling and it messes with the actual story, Richard Gere is King David. The historical research done into the visuals of that film, the costuming, the weaponry, the battles, the city itself, all of that stuff was so spot on. Talked to my old history professor from seminary who loved that movie because of the way it looked and the visual of it, even though it deviated left and right from the biblical story. It was a very good movie. Oh, and it was Alice Krige played Bathsheba. Alice Krige, if you remember her, beautiful actress. She played the Borg Queen
Oh
in
God,
Star Trek.
brilliant.
Yes, and that was one of her most recent things. She played a witch in some other movie or series where she was a witch, an old witch, and it was pretty gritty. Not a fun film, but intense. That's the word I'm looking for. Anyway, we got to get out of here. It's 1:15, and we're 15 minutes over. Thank you guys for being here, Michael and Wendy. No offense, Michael. Wendy's much better to look at than you, but you're still a handsome devil. And so I'm going to let you two go, and I'm going to get out of here. See you, Wendy.
It's
Love you.
lovely to see you, hubby, and I look forward to all being well seeing you on Tuesday.
And
Tuesday.
we'll touch base again tomorrow to recap what we're doing for Tuesday.
Thank you for like my little video, and just know that I can't wait to work with you again, Mister. So hopefully Tuesday's on.
I can't wait to work with you either. I mean.
Yeah.
See you later. And Michael, good to see you. Thanks for joining me this morning early on.
Brother. Love you,
Appreciate
bud.
it. Talk to you soon, brother. All right, everybody. That's it. That's all we got. We're out of here. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for being here. Join me Monday, Wednesday, and Friday over on my Patreon page. And that's real easy. Patreon.com/Scotty Roberts. And come look me up there for the shows. And so all of you, thanks for being here. See you next time. Live long and prosper.